quest for well-being is his most compelling quest. From the ancient dawns of civilizations to the present noons of digital enabling, if there is one common force behind all of man's endeavors, it is the relentless urge seated in his heart to exceed himself, to find his hidden greatness, to master his world, to create a wonderful life, and to be seamlessly happy. No matter what the challenges, the human race labors on in search of this elusive ideal, the trinity of health, harmony, and happiness, which we call well-being. I extend a hearty salutation to the BW Wellness Fraternity, where each of us champions, in our own unique way, the will to nurture lives and inspire happiness. So the invigorating milieu where I grew up, coastal colonial Pondicherry, a veritable melting pot of global cultures, nationalities, abundant creativity, inspired by the ideal of human unity, instilled in me a strong penchant to find what it takes to live optimally and offer curated solutions to different demographics. As the radius of my search extended far and wide, one thing became evident. Our life will change only when it is aligned with the forces that govern it. So before we dive into water, the supreme nurturer, I'd like to pit stop at something quintessential, something that forms the bedrock of all well-being, something without which our tremendous products and services, insights and tools will provide no more than short-lived solutions. That one transcendent something which binds us inseparably in our quest is evolution. The problem of well-being is actually an evolutionary problem. Well-being is a direct result of how we are feeling and what is the state of our mind. Our state of mind is a direct result of how we are perceiving the constant and how we are processing the constant data of life. And the way we process life is a direct result of our worldview and self-view. So from an evolutionary perspective, we are hardwired to operate from the survival-driven automatic me, myself mode we inherit from our animal past. Logically, this explains why we perceive the data of life through the constant volatile lens of our likes and dislikes, personal preferences, our fight and flight instincts, which makes us think and feel from an acutely restrictive, partial, and defensive standpoint. Little wonder why the happiness barometer is always a roller coaster of highs and lows and a constant frenzy of thoughts. But here's the twist. If, as a conscious collective, we decide to pull out of the default and debilitating survival mode and plug into the co-creative, co-nurturing, coexistence mode, it would be nothing short of a historic breakthrough for the race. As significant as when the spacecraft achieves that phenomenal escape velocity which allows it to cross over from the gravitational force field of the Earth into the free orbit of outer space. There is not a single person here, I'm sure, who has not felt inexplicable moments of limitless tolerance, solidarity, fraternity, kindness, a supreme sense of purpose, force, and goodwill at certain times in our lives. As short-lived and precarious as they may have been, these moments point to the certainty that a new normal exists, a new modus operandi lurks, a new balance awaits us. A new perception is possible where life is seen not as a constant clash of opposing forces, but a constant call of brother forces to co-create that superb life we have always wanted for ourselves. If life could emerge out of dead matter and mind out of dumb life, why will mutuality not emerge out of limited mind? Is it not completely in line with the logic of things? Is this not the bedrock of nurturing lives and inspiring happiness? the inner orbital shift from the personal gravity zone that keeps us tied to our separateness into the free skies of the universal beings we equally are. So while the stakeholders amongst us of change invest resources in economic growth, it would serve us well as a race poised to transition that we invest equally in designing new paradigms of education, governance, management, health, technology, business, literature, entertainment, and social models which are more intricately aligned with evolution's intention, direction, and force. Paradigms that will allow the future generations to walk with their heads high because they have a fuller view of life and self and are proud to co-create evolution in every thought, feeling, and action of their life. Paradigms which would have shown them that their personal desires are a part of the quest of the race. Paradigms which train the future generations to play the game of life on the right inner turf with the right inner tools and gear, to be masters of themselves as they set out to master the worlds. And paradigms which will ensure the future generation that they are not on a cortisol overdrive. So coming to tapping into the rejuvenating, regenerating, and healing properties of life. As an educator, avid conscious health seeker, evolution geek, and mother of two, my calling is to help children, teenagers, and parents find their full human potential through inner leadership programs and deep health solutions. A two-pronged approach for inside-out well-being. It is quite strange that while we have lovely options for most of our conscious health choices, we have ignored one of the most essential elements of life, water. If hydration is the key to every single health function, should we just ask ourselves, how much water am I drinking every day? Or should we also ask ourselves, what kind of water am I drinking every day? So here's a quick rapid fire on water for all of us. If you could just raise your hands. How many of us actually feel thirsty these days? How many of us just drink water because we're supposed to drink certain liters of water? How many of us like the taste of water that we drink today? How many of us feel energized when we drink water? How many of us feel bloated and heavy when we drink water? How many remember drinking water from mountains and streams? If you would draw a parallel between what it felt like drinking mountain water and what it feels like today drinking the water we drink, I think the water consumption for all of us can be divided in three parts: a regular filter water, bottled water, and people who don't use filters and just boil their water and consume it as is. आजकल बोलते हैं पानी पीते हैं. कुछ साल पहले बोला करते थे जल ग्रहण करते हैं. Water out of the 5 major principal elements is pivotal. It is one of the Pancha Mahabhut. The human body and the planet are 3/4 water. Water created the conditions for life to be born on the planet. The first unicellular life form was born in water. Water nurtures every single species and plant according to its particular needs. The womb is water. The brain floats in water. Every great civilization prospered around great rivers. The one thing we don't even refuse to our enemies is water. Water and earth are the mother elements, and yet we ignore water. कहते हैं कि जब हवा, पानी और सोच ठीक होती है, तो बहुत कुछ ठीक हो जाता है. Nature's water Now, coming to the crux of the matter, nature's water, the water we evolved with, is in a very fine balance of purity, molecular structure, covalent bonds, natural minerals, water memory, and sunlight. These are the 5 key components to measure the health of water. Yes, everything cannot be measured, I remember that. And yet, the water we drink today is shockingly poor on all these parameters. We have managed, in the last 30 years of industrial living, we have managed to abuse water in more ways than we commonly know. Water has lost its purity due to hazardous farming chemicals, industrial waste, sewage elements, bacterial contaminants, metal leaching, microplastics, and chlorine. Most of our filters cannot remove these complex endocrine disrupting chemicals present in the water today. Water has lost its coherent molecular structural aspects due to the unnatural action of dams, municipal pressure pumps, the jagged angles of corrosive pipelines, and the forceful passing of water through the micron-sized pores of our water filters. What used to be the elixir of life is now just a liquid, a commodity, a checkbox for daily consumption. Natural minerals have gone away from water, so we opt for bottled mineral water containing either artificial minerals or microplastics from the bottles in which they sit, or water which has been stagnant in glass bottles for months of storage in dingy warehouses, creating tons of carbon footprint every single day. Just imagine the scale of the packaged water industry worldwide and the plastic waste. Water which once was abundant with sunlight and fresh air in meandering streams sits stagnant in darkness, in stinky pipes and water tanks. How would you feel if you didn't see daylight or fresh air for days on end? That's the kind of water we're consuming these days, with little attention to working out solutions for healthy nature-like water. Last but not the least, water memory, an aspect which has gained a lot of popularity in the last couple of years. Every thought, emotion, and sound has an electromagnetic signature. When water is exposed to sounds, emotions, and thoughts, those electromagnetic waves penetrate water. And when you freeze that water and look at the water crystal formed from that water, it reflects what it has heard. So if water has heard some harmonious, nice sounds, words, etc., the water crystal is going to look like a beautiful, symmetric, hexagonal snowflake. Conversely, if it has heard negative, chaotic sounds or words, it is going to reflect, its water crystals are going to look really ugly and badgered when you see them through the right measuring apparatus. So it's almost like water is recording and registering and responding to sounds, emotions, and thoughts in its structural imprint. The water that we drink today is exposed to horrific traffic sounds, kitchen din, and human drama. It is not only chemically and physically contaminated and bacterially contaminated, but energetically contaminated. And then we go one step further to place our water filters under sinks next to garbage cans. 30 years back, one couldn't imagine this. One would see a nice earthen pot kept in the center of the house with a tulsi plant next to it, and at a certain height, and water was treated like jal, not like pani, the way we treat it today. In many cultures, there's the concept of bhuta shuddhi, which is about refining the elements that we are consuming before we consume them. So if our most essential element is sick, lifeless, deranged, how may we hope to be well? I'm honored to have the opportunity to share with you Auroville's groundbreaking work in water, one of the finest and only solutions to transform water completely on all parameters to its original natural state. The Maeka Water Curator, an advanced water filter, is a work of deep tech and research by Oroville for the last 30 years. It biopurifies water completely in the full spectrum. It restores the structural coherence of water, remineralizes water with pure trace minerals like silver, copper, and gold, which used to exist in natural water, and re-energizes water with sunlight factors and your chosen sounds, prayers, music, mantras, whatever you wish to make your water listen to. The idea behind it is that water isn't just a liquid we drink to quench our thirst. Water is a supreme nurturer and creator of life and needs to be in the right state and right parameters, the way nature had made it, for it to play the pivotal role in our mental and physical health. So this water curator, an advanced water filter, which we have outside for you to experience, is handcrafted with love in Oroville, the city of dawn, in South India, and is available in 8 cities in India and in certain parts of Europe. Air, water, and thoughts are our primary inputs to ourselves. Even the nutrition from good food is assimilated and circulated in the body through water. If water is heavy and dense, it slows down the circulation of energy and nutrition in the body, and assimilation and digestion. When water is well-structured and balanced, it does not lend itself to contamination, odors, and scaling on surfaces for a very, very long time. That's one of your benchmarks for the health of water. So let us take every measure within our reach to drink water in its most nature-like state. I thank Oroville for offering urban families the possibility to drink and cook with mountain quality water flowing in their kitchens. You're invited to experience the rejuvenation of Maeka living water at the stall outside. May the waters of the world bless us with health and happiness. Thank you, everyone. Stay hydrated, stay mutual.